Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. So I'm on with my first of two videos to use the bits and pieces that I got in my unboxing from Globleland the other day. And today I'd like to concentrate on using the bulb pins and the brads that I grabbed. So I've got stacks of them, which is so cool because it enables me to do some mass making with them. So I've got a few really simple projects to do today, and then I'll probably be using them again with my next lot of projects in the next video. So the links to Globleland are down below if you want to go and check out all the awesome goodies they have in their shop. And there'll also be the individual links to the products that I'm using for the next few videos for them. And don't forget to use the discount code NAT10 for 10% off of your order. Okay, so what I have done is I did grab some vintage book page. This has some German text. And I did grab some of my scrap bits of cardstock and scrapbook paper for this first project. So it's a great way to recycle book pages and use up some of your scraps. And what I did was I did gesso some of the book pages and I also painted some. So I'll show you now how I went about doing that. And I ended up with this, a massive pile of beautifully coloured book pages. As you can see, I've got stacks left over as well. All different colours. So that was done with acrylic paint. I was going to do some watercolour on the gessoed papers, but I thought that might turn out just a bit like the acrylic ones. So what I did do was ink a few of them. They're just blank ones there. So those ones just have plain gesso. I think I probably used the inked ones, but you'll see what they're like. You could use any of your inks on them. So yeah, these ones are the gesso ones. So the gesso enables you to write over the top of the writing a bit, covers it over, but it leaves a nice matte finish for you to be able to add different mediums onto. And then I got my die cut machine out, my Big Shot, and I die cut some of my flowers that had stackable bits and ended up with a massive pile of flowers. So the only ones that I could find, I might have some punches I could do this with, but I found these sort of like pansies of two sizes. And I found these daisies that I had that are multiple sizes. Now this page I think is one of my inked pages, so it's got the gesso on, and then I just rubbed some of my distress ink on with the blending brush, and it's just got a really light pinkish tone, so really good for your more vintage style that you want. And these are the acrylic ones once they were cut. So I love the fact that they've got the beautiful colour, but you can still see all the text as well. So yeah, lots and lots of flowers there. And then I went about putting them together. So we'll do a bit of that. So what you can do if you want is use one of your styluses to create some bulk into your flowers and curl the petals a bit in that. Although I don't tend to do that much for things I'm putting in my journals because I like to keep the journals flat. But I will show you in case it's something you want to do. So what you can do is just go around. You can get different size styluses as well, which I sort of need a bigger one for this, but this will do just to show you. And if you wet the flowers a bit, it'll hold the curls a lot better as well. But you can see that that's curled the petals. And then you can put it down this way and rotate it in the middle to get the bend upwards like that. Now, because it's such a small stylus, there are lines in the flower a bit, so if you get a bigger one to do that with, it would work out better. But you can do that if you want some bulk in your flowers, and then do it with the one that you're putting on top, which I might just do it here carefully. Then you can stick that together like that, which we might do because that'll hide the lines in the flower. And it just creates that height for you. But as I said, I don't tend to do that for this project because I want flatter things if I'm going to put them on the inside pages of my journals. But if they're going on the cover, you could add bulk like this. But what I have been doing is gluing them together because I just find that a bit easier to manage to begin with. Just tack them together like that. And that's one of our flowers done. So very, very simple. Now we'll grab some bits for a daisy. Got some blue pieces here, which would look gorgeous together. Got that colour blue would go nicely too. You can stack these together. Might do it that way. That. You can do as many layers as you like. I tend to like the 2, sometimes 3 for this project, but it does keep them nice and thin to put on your journal cards and that. Let's see if we can use this one. So I've got a darker blue there. That would look nice. You can also ink around the edges of your flowers with your ink if you like. That looks quite nice, and I tend to do that on the more plainer style book page flowers, which I'll do with you if I can find some pieces. There's a big one there, big pink one. I've got a little pink one there. So if I grab my distress ink, you can ink around the edges, just highlight those petals a bit. You could, of course, draw or paint little bits on the inside of the petals or stamp on them, all sorts of things to make nice patterns to do this with. And then if you layer them up, it adds some beautiful contrast, and that looks a lot nicer. So we'll do that. So it's such a simple project, this, and it's a great one to get the kids involved in if you have children. Now let's do one with some scrap paper. Can layer the different types as well. So that one won't look too bad on there. And that doesn't look too bad on there either. I like that better, but I would like some ink on that. So you can get heaps of these done all at once. I might leave that like that for now. And then my next step is to punch a hole in the centre. Now I was doing this last night and my holes were very off center at times, which was off-putting to me, so I'm going to do a little dot. Now if you don't have a decent hole punch or a crocodile, you can just punch it with a needle or something like that to just help your brad go through the center. But I found it a bit easier and neater to do it with the small crocodile hole. So because I've got the dot, I can see where that is now and hopefully get my hole centered. Just got to try not to bend all my petals along the way. Okay, and now we can grab our brads. This is what I love about this pack of brads, is you've got so many different colours. So I'm just going to grab some of the coloured ones out. I will use some of these vintage style ones as well. So with these book page ones, I like the vintage style bronze brads, just because I am doing a project which has these sort of colours in it. So I think that will go the best. Then you can just slip your fingernail down between the forks on the brad. One's shorter than the other, which makes that a bit easier to do. Then just press it flat. And so you don't even have to glue your flowers together because the brad will hold them, although the petals you will be able to turn and that. So I just find it a bit easier to glue them so I can punch the hole and know it's all where I want it. And there's a little flower. So that then can be stuck to a page as is, or you could push the prongs back up and put a hole in your page and then use the brad to secure your flower to the page as well, or a journal card or something like that. So I'll continue and do the rest of these. So I have finished my flowers and I've got some more to show you as well. So we'll have a look at them at the end of the video. We'll get on with our next project. So for my next project, I want to use these cool bulb pins that I have stacks of. Love using these to make nice simple dangles for my journals. Now you may remember not long ago I made some long dangles for my spines of my journals, and I recycled a whole heap of my broken jewellery that I've collected and some other beautiful beads. Now, when you do that sort of thing, you do end up with lots of little bits and pieces of beaded jewellery, broken bits and all that to use up. Also, some of the necklaces and that I have collected don't really suit themselves to the longer spine dangles. So I thought it'd be great to grab some bulb pins to make some little tiny dangles that you can put on your journal tabs to hang out the side of your journals, or you can pin them to pockets or on your journal cover. So I thought we'd do some of that today, and the bulb pins are great for that. So I'll just put that behind me. So I have here just a few bits of broken jewellery that I've been playing with. And I've got a few charms. Now, a lot of my charms have come off of broken jewellery, and some I have grabbed here and there from people who have been clearing them out. And my jewellery tends to come from the second-hand stores around the place. So we will get started and see what we can do with that. So one of the first ones I have is this necklace. I think it was a choker or something. It's sort of huge. And of course, it's a bit bulky for a spine dangle or anything like that, but it has these great copper rings and these beautiful blue, they're plastic beads, so they're not very heavy, which is what you want if you want to hang it off of a tab on a journal or something. So all I have to do with this is just undo the jump ring here to take this piece off. And then I can do the jump ring back up. and there's a dangle. It's as simple as that. So, and then I've been using the gold. I've been using the gold, or we've got the nickel. The nickel looks all right. Or we could go the black, which I don't mind either. I think we'll go the nickel for that. Just hook that over. And it's as simple as that to make a pretty little dangle that hangs out the edge of your book page. And imagine how many I can get off of that. And what a great way to recycle it. And I'll still be left with some chain and all these bigger rings that I can use for other projects. So that's one that we can put to the side. Now what else have we got? We have this. Now this piece has the lobster clasp there. That would be quite nice on the back of a journal down the spine. So I'll probably leave that piece for a spine dangle, but we've got all of these bits still left. Now I do find these a bit big for and heavy for what I want to do today. So I'd probably take them off. So it looks like we'd have to undo if we can. Yep, just lift that up and then we can take this piece off, which I really like. And we have that piece too. Of course, we can keep these beads for another project because they're beautiful glass beads, these ones. I think I need to undo it the other side here. So that gives us these silver bits. Now I do have a big silver jump ring that I got off of something or other. So I found a bag of random silver jump rings here. So let's see if we can find what we want. They look good. This one looks nice. It's quite thick. If it's easy enough for me to open up. Yep. Might need to open it a little bit more. Let's have a look. Do we want it that way? Or do we want it that way? So what I'm thinking with this is I have charms here. And I've got some here as well. Just depends which one we want on there. Quite like that. Grab another jump ring to attach that. Now just have a look. Oh, quite like that too. Might put it that way. So quickly grab one of our silver bulb pins. I know some people call them gourd pins as well. Such an easy way to hang your dangles. And then they're easy to remove or add things to. So that's that one done. Okay, let's do one more together. So what I might do here is just remove this little bit from that big bead. But you can get so many of these little dangles just out of the one necklace, which when you buy them from secondhand stores, you know, they're quite cheap, but it's still a bit of a cost. But to break them up and be able to make this many little dangles out of them makes it definitely worthwhile. Okay, so for that one we'll use our nickel, I think. Goes the best with that sort of bronzish antique tone. And we'll put the big one at the bottom. So you could leave it just like that, or we could look for a little charm to put on there. I do have these that need somewhere to go. That'd go quite nicely on there as well, wouldn't they? Down the bottom like that. So we might do that. So we don't want silver for that. So we can just use this little jump ring that's here to attach that. I like that. Okay, so that is it for my tutorials. So now I'll show you all the ones that I have put together. And as I said, my next video for Globleland, I shall be using the bulb pins and the brads in my other projects as well, so you can see how I do that. So these are the flowers that I've made thus far. Aren't they sweet? All the beautiful brads. So it's great having the multicolored ones so that you can try out different colors in the centers, and then having the more vintage styled ones as well, because so many people like their vintage style journals. I think my favorites are actually the really plain inked up book page ones. So this one's done with brown ink, really light brown ink, and then I've layered it on top of a green cardstock and just bent the petals up a little bit so you can just see the green peeking out from the bottom, and I really like that style as well. There's another one with the vintage colours. This one I didn't stick together, so you can see you can move the petals around on that one. So they are all my flowers thus far, but you saw how many I die cut, and it really didn't take that long because I layer 2 papers together and do a whole heap at once. So you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. So I can make a whole heap more after. So I think they're really cool. And then we have our dangles that we've made. So these ones I love, they're red ones. And I've added a little heart charm to that one. And the heart charm came off of just one piece of jewellery that I had here. that I found in the secondhand store was this, and it had some charms hanging down from it. So I took 2 or 3 of the heart charms off of that to use for my little bulb pin dangles here. So I've got another one using the same red necklace and a little heart charm. And then the nickel bulb pins. Another one there. So I really love those. Then I've got some of those blue ones that I can make hundreds of. And I used gold bulb pins for those 2. And then I used the nickel one for that one. So it just depends on the look that you want and what other colours you're using in your journals and that to what bulb pin I use on these. It's the one that we made together. I love this one, it's really cute. We made one with this bit just before, but I used that same necklace and I added a little fairy charm and then one of these little charms that I picked up from the secondhand store. It's got a butterfly on it, so I think that's really cute for a fairy journal. Another one here with the silver charm. And that's just a tiny little bit that come off of one of the necklaces that I altered. But nice and lightweight for putting on a tag or on a tab that's hanging off of a journal page. Won't bend the paper. This one with some blue beads. This one that's just got a clear bead and a star charm. It's the one we made together with the moon down the bottom. I really like that. This one that I added a little butterfly to. This one I added some hearts to, and they're on the silver pin. And this one. And I added this piece that was on another necklace. One more, last one, just this little blue bead. So you can make them as simple or complex as you want, really. But I love them. They're so much fun to make. Great way to use up the little bits and pieces from your broken jewellery that you might not know what to do with. And great way of using the bulb pins as well that you have lying around. So as I said, my next project I will show some ways. I'll show you how I use these as well. I'll attach them to some tabs and that so you can see how they look. And I'll be using the bulb pins and the brads in other ways as well. So keep an eye out for that. Massive thank you to Globleland for the awesome products to play around with this month. Check out all the links below. Take care of yourselves. Be good and I will see you again soon. Bye.